One. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Balling from the Sidelines. I'm Daniel Osmani.
I'm Owen Kearney.
So yeah, we're just doing our season predictions. We're gonna be looking at each division to give you who we got winning division, what seeds the winner, what the playoff seeds are gonna be, and the wild card spots, and give some analysis on what we expect. So yeah, I'm really gassed up for this. This is arguably my favorite part of the year because I get to be like in 3, 4, 5 months from now, I'm like, yo, I told you so, and y'all kept saying that he was going to the division. This is going to happen. I said it first. So these are the clout moments of sports broadcasting when it comes to football. But yeah, Kearney, what you got to say?
Yeah, that's about it. I'm just ready to make these predictions. I'm excited about this NFL season. I think pretty much every team has, things to look forward to. So it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna start with the AFC East. I'm gonna let my boy Kearney start off though. Let's see what he got.
Okay, so this one was really tough. I'll preface these comments by saying I think every team besides the Patriots kind of has a reasonable case to be the division winner. But the Patriots did make some good additions. Like I love their drafting of Christian Gonzalez. I love bringing in Zeke for pass protection. Even though he's past his prime, he can still block. He can still get those third and short runs.
Bro, yeah,
I
he
love
was like top
backing.
five in rushing touchdowns last year,
Yeah,
and
yeah, he had like 14 rushing touchdowns, something like that last year.
very efficient when
Uh,
it came to getting those scores.
yeah,
And
they helped their D line out. They drafted Keon White. Like they're gonna be a good team, but I'd see them at like 7-10. Not gonna go with them. Bills, I think there's too much going on off the field. The whole Stephon Diggs thing. I know they got it figured out now. Like you said earlier, their defense getting, progressively worse by the year. I do think Greg Rousseau and Von Miller should be able to step up this year. Trey White's going to be healthy. Hopefully, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are healthy as well. Bills will probably have a pretty good year, but I don't actually see them winning the division either, nor do I see Aaron Rodgers doing it. I think I have Miami, and I know Miami has lots of questions when it comes to health. Jalen Ramsey's already, missing camp, and, Tua's seemingly always hurt, right? But biggest issues last year were their offensive line. They got Armstead coming back. Eichenberg and Austin Jackson were rookies last year, so they can make a jump there. They signed Isaiah Wynn. Um, they got Jalen Ramsey in the offseason. So they were 24th last year in points per game and like 27th in passing yards per game, something like that. Jalen Ramsey will be a big help there. You pair him with Xavier Howard, Javon Holland on the back end, and then a sleeper pick for most improved player, I guess. I think Jalen Phillips has a really big breakout season. Outside linebacker, Vic Fangio scheme. He likes playing downhill. He likes going in a lot of like diamond quarters coverage, get those outside linebackers in space. Um, I think he's gonna have a breakout season. I see Miami probably getting 11 wins. I see 11-6 out of them. But what do you got for the AFC East?
yeah, so the AFC East this year is the most interesting it's been in a very long time.
For sure, for sure.
I don't remember the last time the AFC East has been this interesting. But I got the Jets winning the division. This is one of the easiest picks I had actually. When it comes to I read off the rib looking at them, like I didn't even do no research. That's how big I am on the Jets. And it's got nothing to do with number 12 coming over there, that little cheesehead. It's got everything to do with the defense, baby. They I'm positive they're gonna have the number one defense in basically everything, especially when you get into those advanced analytics. And it's all about Sauce Gardner, baby. Like I've never seen a rookie cornerback ball out and absolutely kill it to the point where I say he's the best cornerback in the NFL
Yeah,
from his
he is.
rookie year
He
onwards.
is. He is for sure.
And like, man, forget about Revis Island. It's Gardner Lost Island now. And I say Lost Island because that part of the field is completely gone. It's gonna be invisible. And pretty soon I even have him retiring as a top five cornerback if he keeps up this rate, barring injuries. That's how big I am on Sauce Gardner. But yeah, it's not even just about Gardner either. Uh, you know, they got their defense with DJ Reed at the other corner spot. He was ranked really high as well last year. I mean, their pass coverage is solid, man. Like beyond solid. Like it's certified. You already know what's
You got
going
Bryce
on.
Hall in the nickel. They got Brees Hall coming back. Signed Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I definitely think the Jets are going to make the wild card. But let me just be devil's advocate right now. We got Jets week 1. They're playing the Bills. Then they go to Dallas, right? Then they have the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Chargers. First 7, 8 games of the year, they might only have like 2 or 3 wins, honestly. Like how many like solid wins are there? You could
Wait,
say they're
name the
probably
teams again. The first couple weeks.
so they got the Bills week 1.
I got him winning that game. Is that
Okay,
home or away?
it's home.
Yeah.
But Rodgers historically slow starter, first game as a
I mean, that
Jet.
was like I was telling you earlier. I mean, for the past over a decade now, we've seen that Rodgers can't get it done. He can't get you the promised land with his arm alone. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time when it comes to arm talent. The numbers show it and everything. But once he gets to those conference championship games, he lays an egg. And crunch time is not really his memo. Like, I mean, people like bring up those Hail Marys, but those are only 2 or 3 games. Look at the other games, bro. It's not just about them Hail Marys. But now, for the first time in a long time, I think almost what it's 2023 right now. It's been, I think, maybe like 2014 is the last time I could say Green Bay had like, a really good defense. But even back, I mean, to the point where defense could be like, I feel like they can go on an outstanding run in the playoffs type stuff.
I mean, their defense wasn't the problem against San Francisco last year. It was Aaron
I
Rodgers
know
put up like 10
you're
points,
absolutely
like
right.
4 turnovers.
You're right on the money. I'm not debating that one bit. But now he's got the best defense in the NFL. That's the difference now. They can carry that weight.
I mean, if we're stacking up Packers and the Jets defense, I do think the Jets defense is better because they have Quentin Williams, but it's not because their secondary is better. I mean, I think Jair Alexander can stack up against Sauce Gardner. I think their linebacking core is better than with Quay Walker and Rashawn Gary is better than the Jets linebacking core. I think the offensive line for the Packers was better. The running back situation was probably better. I mean, like the Jets are a pretty team for sure, but like I said, Bills, Cowboys, Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, Eagles, Giants, Chargers to start the year. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
Like
as
I
far
still
as like
see
comparing
10
the
and 7.
secondary,
I still see 10 wins throughout this whole schedule, but they might start off like 3-4. That would be
I,
tough.
I got them going 13-4.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as like comparing the secondaries to Green Bay to the Jets, I mean, you got Gardner, you got freaking Reed, bro, Adrian Amos and Jordan Whitehead too. Like I mean, I don't think you
Yeah,
can
Jordan Whitehead's definitely a sleeper for one of the most versatile like safeties, in the
you can
game.
buzz him, you can do all sorts of things with
Yeah,
him.
he's very versatile for sure.
Amos, like I like his own coverage ability. I like his own coverage ability and everything. And then Quentin Williams up front and that nose tackle. Um, I mean, I just think passing against him is going to be complete hell for anybody. Even if Burrow's going against him, even Burrow's going against him, I think it's going to be complete hell for him. Just take Gardner's going to take completely the other side. I feel completely away. Like look at like he went up against some great wide receivers last year, and he shut them down. And I don't see no sophomore slump anything like that because when is the last time you ever seen a cornerback play like that his rookie year anyway? Like maybe if not, I've never seen it. I mean, and I've been watching football for a very long time. And then when it comes to Rodgers, yeah, I mean, it's we can be a little bit critical of how Rodgers declined the past couple of years, but comparing him to what they had the season before, there's absolutely no comparison at all. And he's going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to move the ball a lot better. Rodgers, even last year, I still had him as a top 10 quarterback. And I think that's all this team needs to be
Yeah.
13-4. I think that's all. That's how big I am on this defense. I love the way
13
Saleh.
13 wins is a lot, dude, in the
Yeah,
NFL. 13
I'm
wins
staying
is a
10
lot.
toes down with it. I love the way Saleh's doing this stuff with the defense too. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, that's basically my memo for this with with the Jets. As far as my other picks goes, I got the Bills with that first wild card spot. Just because they got Josh Allen. Like you mentioned before, their defense has been regressing. I mean, the numbers don't really show it as much because they were number one in yards allowed last year. But when
It
it
just
comes to
seems like
those,
in bigger games, like
exactly, and
yeah,
those plays that jump out to you when you're watching, like, oh shit, they really, oh
it's more
damn,
of an eye test thing than a
yeah, like,
statistic.
oh damn, they really made these plays.
Yeah.
And even I mean, obviously not having Miller in the playoffs last year, it hurt them. But you know, even in the games they had Miller healthy, and they had who else was injured last year for them? Buffalo.
Trey White was injured, and I think Micah Hyde was injured, and I think Poyer missed like one game or something like that. So
Yeah, so
well, Poyer might have not missed the game, but he like punctured his lung or something, so he had some injury issues as well.
yeah, and I think there's another name we're forgetting up front in that front seven too that missed some time. But
I don't know. Did Greg Rousseau miss any time? I'm not sure, but yeah, they definitely had injury issues last year. I remember.
yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, there definitely was some inconsistent continuity, but even when you looked at the games they were playing, I just saw a drop off with them. Another thing too is when it comes to Tre'Davious White, he's a great cornerback, all pro caliber. But when it comes to those big games, as well as guarding and defending number one receivers, I know he's not shadowing the number one receiver most of the time, so not placing all the blame on Tre'Davious White. But they get torched by number one receivers far too often for a defense that's been ranked number one a lot of years for the past couple years. I like it's not even just that Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
game.
but are we hoping that Garrett Wilson is a number one receiver, or do we know that he's like a legit like I mean like obvious I'd say he's around like the 15 to 20 range, but I see like a lot of hype on him being like a top 10 receiver, and I personally don't
Yeah,
see
not
that.
at all. I did not see top 10 receiver from him one
I
bit.
see like a solid wide receiver, but like I don't I already see him ahead of, guys that have, proven in multiple seasons that they can be a solid number one option. And still kind of waiting on that from Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson. I think he can be a top 10 receiver in the NFL, but right now I don't think he is. But we'll see.
Yeah, and he's not freakishly athletic either. So it's not one of those things where I'm gonna see like,
You
oh
got
yeah.
Miami in the wild card or just the Bills?
No, I got Miami with that third wild card spot. I was wrestling in my mind a lot between them and the Chargers. But you know, with Miami, like the playmakers, the receiving core with Hill and Waddle, it just makes Tua's life a lot easier. He really has no arm strength at all. But
Yeah,
with
two is
Tyreek
definitely
Hill,
a question mark for sure. But Mike McDaniel's really creative. That's why
yo,
I'm pretty high on Miami.
yeah, and they love playing with him. They
Yeah.
have a young bunch, and they play with absolute love for the game, and you can see in their preparations, they're often overmatched in against their opponents, but they still somehow come up with the victory. There's oftentimes, and you know, had a winning record last year. They were just sneaky good. They made the playoffs last year as well too. I really like that Jalen Ramsey addition too. Before Ramsey, you know, last year they played heavy man coverage. And that's really what Jalen Ramsey's great at. He's one of those dying breeds. He's the last of the real when it comes to, yo, let me play my man coverage nonstop pretty much most of the time. I don't want to play no zone. I just want to be mano a mano,
He
square
can
up against.
tackle in the run game too. He's gonna help their low range rush defense also, I think. But yeah, I have the Jets and the Bills also in the wild card spots. I think we each have three playoff teams out of this division. This division's pretty stacked besides the fourth slot and the Patriots, who are not even a bad team, but definitely not up to par with the rest of the division for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then one other thing I'm gonna circle back with Buffalo, their running back position, man. I really think that should have been a point of emphasis for them these past couple off seasons, try to get a stud running back in there. Because with Josh Allen, if they had a great running back running those, you know, zone reads and RPOs with a great
Yeah.
running back, it would just make them unstoppable. I mean, not unstoppable, but make them a whole
I mean,
other
they got
tier. And they already have a very
Damian
good
Harris. They
offense.
picked up Damian Harris. He's a decent back.
Decent, but I'm talking about getting a top seven running back.
Yeah, I
Top
mean,
five even.
ideally they're the ones who should have got Dalvin Cook, right? Not the Jets, but it is
And
what it
Dalvin
is.
Cook, that's another huge addition too. I don't even they got him number two on the depth chart, but do you really think Dalvin Cook's going to be getting the second most carries on the team?
Eventually, yeah. I think Brees Hall is going to eclipse his carries by the end of the year, but I think they're going to start off with Dalvin Cook majority because Brees Hall is still coming off that injury. Dalvin Cook is also significantly better in the
He
pass
had a
game.
really good he had a really good season last year too.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty high on Dalvin Cook. I'm just higher on Brees Hall. Like it's
I'm
not.
higher on Cook, so I actually my prediction I think Cook's gonna get most of the carries.
Yeah, we'll
But
see. I mean, that's probably the most stacked running back room in the NFL right now. So
yeah, I mean when it comes to depth for sure. But yeah, just with Josh Allen. Another thing too with Josh Allen, when it comes to those big games you mentioned before, when it comes to robber coverage, those disguised safeties,
yeah,
we show bluff, and then another thing comes through when you're playing against good safeties as well too, the strong safeties. He can throw picks. He can throw picks. His accuracy is it's great. Like it's Pro Bowl level. Don't get it twisted. But in those short to medium throws, it can get a little bit faulty. His accuracy as well too. Tip balls you see from him, but we're being really granular now. Like we're nitpicking because Josh Allen is without doubt top three, top four quarterback in the NFL. But
yeah,
when you got the Jets defense in your division, you're going to be playing them twice, maybe even three times. This season. We're not really getting into the playoff predictions as well, so two times. But like it could be problematic for them. And then also in Miami with that stacked secondary we got to with Howard and Ramsey. His flaws are gonna get more pronounced and it's gonna be more amplified this year just because of how he's stuck with playing against such great secondaries. You can make a good argument that the Jets and the Dolphins can finish with the two best pass coverages in the NFL this season. So it just doesn't help his cause at all. And like we were talking about earlier before the show, the window for this iteration of the Bills is closing. I mean, they made the playoffs now how many years? 4 years in a row or
they have 31 players on their last year of their contract heading into this
yeah.
season. So like out of 53-man roster, 60% of their team like is not on contract for the 2024 season, which is a big problem.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
they're
they're basically the Milwaukee Bucks of the NFL right now. The Milwaukee Bucks, they got, I mean, their problem is more with age with the Bucks, but they also got expiring contracts too. Bills is not really so much the age, but it's free agency going to hit him. But yeah, I mean, Allen's going to be top fire until the day he retires or for a very long time. But it's just a matter of the rest of the team. I mean, this is really their year. If you know, it's really put up or shut up because
yeah.
they're going to be completely back to the drawing board from square one. But yeah, those are our picks. I got Jets winning, Jets getting the second seed. I got, we'll find out later. I got for the number one. We'll get into later who I got with the number one seed. But yeah, I got the Jets with the second seed. I got the Bills getting the first wild card spot, and I got Miami getting that third wild card spot, just squeaking by the Chargers. They probably will finish with the best record. There'll be some type of they'll probably finish with the same record. There'll be some type of tiebreaker that goes into it. And the Pats, you're a Pats fan. I grew up in Greater Boston area too. It's not looking good, man. We didn't even
Yeah,
bring up. That's telling you how bad it's looking. We didn't even bring up the Pats once, bro.
I talked to them a little bit. Like I
Oh, you
think they're
did?
on the
Okay.
upswing. Like I like their draft picks. I liked going out their signings and free agency. Like, but yeah, they're not in this conversation right now. I got Dolphins one. I think they're gonna go 11-6. I see 10-7 out of the Jets and the Bills each. I see them both. I see all three making the playoffs though.
Yeah, I think I got Buffalo maybe going like 11-6, maybe 12-5, but definitely 10-7 for Miami. They're gonna get that last wild card spot. They're gonna be in a battle with the Chargers for that last spot. Yo, one last question. Sauce Gardner is getting Defensive Player of the Year this year. What are the chances?
Ooh, a cornerback winning it. A lot of good pass rushers in the NFL. You know, you got Watt, Bosa, Miles Garrett, Micah Parsons. Like, I don't know. I'd say like a 25% chance, maybe. Like, I think all those guys kind of around like the same. Like, it'll be a toss up. You know, it
Yeah.
comes down to health. If he plays all 17 games and he balls out, like he'll have a higher chance. But right now, I think it's too early to throw a decoy on him. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff goes into narratives. Last year, the narrative was he wasn't the best cornerback in the NFL, even though the numbers showed it. I mean, who would you say like the media and the consensus and the best cornerback in the NFL was last year? People
Like
said
going into last year, it was
no, like
probably
after the season ended last season, or like
oh,
mid season, like as the season really took off.
Tyreek Woolen had a hot start. I mean, Jalen Ramsey got injured, so I think he kind of got out of those conversations rather quickly.
That Dallas guy too.
Pat, yeah, uh, Diggs,
Uh,
Patrick Surtain's up there. Like,
Patrick Surtain.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
good corners in the NFL right
I actually
now.
think it was Patrick Surtain. I think he got the first team All Pro nod last year, if I'm not mistaken. Let me
Yeah,
just fact
he's a
check that
really
real
good
quick.
cornerback, man. Like he's legit for sure. You
Yeah,
know
he's a
that.
smart corner, but I don't think he has the God-gifted recovery skills and just ball hawk skills. I mean, not by ball hawk, I mean being able to pass breakups, just the hands, those like the active hands as Gardner. I just think Gardner is the complete package. Certain did he get first team All Pro and all last year? Yeah, he wait, this is looking up. This is another Patrick 13. Oh yeah, I'm looking
I
up his.
actually don't even know who got All Pro last
Yeah,
year.
he got the wait 2022. Yeah, he got the All Pro, the first one last year. Um, Jerry Alexander too. He's another one like you often when you see on Twitter those polls. Like
I think he's a legit cornerback as
me
well. I
too.
think
He's
there's
great.
plenty
He's
legit
splendid.
cornerbacks. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, the narratives are not really on his side, and cornerback position they haven't been very lucky with DPOY
You gotta be a
defense.
pass rusher in today's
It's always
game.
a pass rusher ever since
Yeah.
who was that coach just a couple years back? Like the most valuable player on a team now is a great pass rusher. What was a couple years back? What was the coach?
Ooh, I don't know, but that's probably true though. But
Yeah.
like if you have a guy
Was
like
it
a
Mike
Michael Parsons,
Zimmer?
like a game breaker, but I
It
don't know who
was
said that.
I don't know, but that completely shaped up that kind of
Yeah.
revitalized the NFL too. Because once he said that, the amount of pass rushes being taken top five overall just skyrocketed. It was a pretty certified coach. I'll look into it. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But
All right.
I feel like it might
I
have been
think
a
we're good
Mike
on AFC
Zimmer.
East though.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been a Mike Zimmer or one of those boys. But yeah, those are our AFC picks. But yeah, man, Sauce Gardner, remember his name? His nickname gonna be Kumari Condom, bro. I'm busting on some Black history on you. Kumari Condom was like an ancient Dravidian folktale. It was an island. It was an island civilization that got lost in the water, and then no one can talk about it again. There's a bunch of fables on it. That's Sauce Gardner, bro. Sauce Gardner, man. Forget Revis Island. He's a whole lost island because that part of the field is just you're never gonna see it. His ball's just not going that direction,
All right, I'm with it. I'm with it.
bro. But yeah, thank you for watching.
Yes, sir. AFC East. All right.